The athlete will drop, chest to deck, and hand release both hands at the same time. At the end of the move, the athlete will achieve vertical with the knees, hips, back, head, and arms straight up and down in the air. The judge will call a no rep if the athlete does not achieve vertical at the top of the move. For example, the athlete's head is still facing down towards the floor. The athlete's hands will touch the floor at the same time above the athlete's head. At the end of the move, the athlete's hands will touch his or her feet at the same time. The athlete must be hanging from the rings with the feet suspended. The elbows and shoulders must be fully straight and open. The athlete must get his or her toes through the rings at the top of the move. A no rep will be called if the athlete does not pass both feet through the rings at the same time, or if the athlete's elbows remain bent. The athlete may use any preferred hand and or foot alignment to achieve the full rope climb, at the top of which the athlete must touch the black anchor. The athlete may also jump into the rope climb. It is not required that the athlete lower himself to the ground in a slow and controlled manner at the end of the rope climb. The athlete must start with his hands outside the start line and finish the handstand walk with the hands after the finish line. If the athlete falls during a handstand walk, he may restart his handstand from where his hands were last. At the start of the move, the athlete will release both hands at the same time, and at the end of the move, the athlete will achieve full lockout of the arms with the body straight at the top. A no rep will be called if the athlete does not lock out his arms, or if the athlete does not hand release at the start of the move. The athlete's arms must be straight at the bottom and chin over bar at the top, whether the athlete chooses to use strict pull-ups, kipping pull-ups, or butterfly pull-ups. If assisted pull-ups are specified, the same standards apply. If chest to bar is specified, the athlete's chest must touch the bar at the top. The athlete must start from a hanging position with the arms fully straight. At the end, the athlete must achieve lockout of the elbows at the top of the rings. We'll call a no rep if the athlete does not fully lock out his elbows up top of the rings, or if he does not re-straighten his arms when cycling multiple reps. Box jumps. At the top of the box, the athlete must establish knees, hips, and back straight before coming off the box. We'll call it a no rep if the athlete does not fully establish his knees and his hips straight at the top of the box. The athlete must dip to below parallel with the top of the shoulder below the top of the elbow, and then lock out the elbows fully straight. This is true whether the athlete chooses to do his ring dips strict or if he chooses to kip them. The standards still apply if the athlete is doing assisted ring dips. During single unders, the rope must pass under the athlete's feet once. During double unders, the rope must pass under the athlete's feet twice. At the top of the move, the athlete must achieve perfect vertical with the knees, hips, back, shoulders, elbows, and bell fully straight overhead. We'll call a no rep if the athlete fails to achieve vertical in any way, whether it be from the hips, the shoulders, or if the bell itself is not vertical. The rep starts with both plates on the ground and finishes with the athlete's shoulders behind the bar. Knees, hips, and back must also be straight. We'll call a no rep if the athlete fails to get his shoulders behind the bar with the hips closed, If the athlete fails to fully straighten his knees, or if the plates don't touch the ground in between each rep. Each rep starts with the plates on the floor and finishes with the athlete standing up the bar straight, elbows ahead of the bar. Each rep starts with the bar on the ground. The athlete will pass through a full squat position, hip crease below parallel, and finish standing up straight with the feet together. If a squat clean is specified, the athlete may power clean the bar and then drop into a front squat, and it will be called a good rep. Generally, the same rules apply as for a power clean, except that the athlete will finish in control of the bar with the bar locked out overhead. Generally, the same rules apply as for a squat clean, except the athlete will finish with the bar locked out overhead and in control, feet together. We look at the athlete achieves a full depth squat with the hip crease below parallel and fully straightens the hips and knees at the top of the move. The athlete may also use this style for front squatting if he prefers. As with the front squat, we look that the athlete achieves full depth at the bottom of the move and achieves hips and knees straight at the top of the move. Regardless of the kind of squat specified, we'll call a no rep if the athlete does not get below parallel. The bar starts at the shoulder and the rep finishes with the hands over the shoulders, elbows straight, and head through. This standard is true whether the athlete chooses to strict press, push jerk, or split jerk.